are the women we've come to drum. We are the channel between the earth and the sun. We hold the wisdom of the ancient ways. We will bring peace to these troubled days.
So welcome to Visionary Vegan Woman. I'm your host, Kate Ballo, and I created this exciting event designed to empower women to step into their highest spiritual destinies, embody their feminine power, and answer the call of their souls when it comes to helping animals and the earth. This powerful paradigm-shifting conversation will inspire you to be unstoppable in the face of fear and steadfast in holding the vision of the peace-filled future we all desire to see manifest. And welcome everyone. I'm so happy you are here with us today. And I'm really excited to be here today with Stephanie Redcross. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for being part of this event. And Stephanie Redcross is the founder and managing director of Vegan Mainstream, a unique marketing consulting company, especially for vegan entrepreneurs and professionals. Since 2009, Stephanie has been developing tools, training, and support for the brave individuals who are starting and running vegan businesses all over the world. She was well equipped to do this with more than 15 years of marketing experience with small businesses and Fortune 500 companies. Since then, Stephanie has been a frequent speaker at VegFest conferences and even her own bootcamp series. Through these types of engagements and her day-to-day work with Vegan Mainstream, Stephanie inspires others to turn their vegan passion into successful businesses. Yay, that's awesome. So today we're going to talk about creating a sustainable vegan business because I think that's important to really bring to this audience. So if you want to start maybe by talking about your own personal why you transitioned to the vegan lifestyle and ultimately ended up creating Vegan Mainstream.
Absolutely. I think the reason I started with Vegan Mainstream and also kind of my own personal vegan journey is my desire to not only give back, but my desire to actually do something I love. I've been very passionate about veganism even before I started my business. I was always looking for ways that I could do more, participate in a unique way, and also kind of give back, because I really feel that by making the choice, and also the people that invested in me and taught me about what it's like to be vegan, why be vegan, why get on this journey. Because while I started initially as far as becoming vegan because of a health challenge, I had actually gotten sick when I was in college, so that kind of started me on the path. What I realized is it was way more than health. It was really about the animal. It's really about our environment. It's really about saving lives. And it's really about really how we can manage, how we can really be compassionate toward each other and compassionate towards animals. So as I got that education, what I started to do is incorporate that obviously in my life, incorporating, what I'm eating, incorporating, the shampoo I use in my hair, the cleaning products in my house. And what started to kind of gel for me, or what it started to kind of click for me, is that veganism is bigger than just food. I think for many of us, we start there because it's a great identifying place to start, and especially because we know the impact that it can make as far as saving animals. But when you start to look at all the products, all the things that we consume, all the things that we use in our daily lives, many of those are sourced from animals as well. So my hope was, how can I go bigger? How can I make a bigger impact? As well as, I'm really a marketing business person. I grew up in an entrepreneur family. I worked in corporate America. I'm really kind of like, I love the details of like marketing campaigns and looking at data and, how to do a social media campaign. That stuff just really gets me excited. So I said, well, wait a minute. Can I take the marketing and business side that I'm super excited about? Can I take what I'm passionate about as far as not only my veganism, but how I can make a bigger impact and help save lives, help animals, and really bring those things together? Can I help people build sustainable businesses? Can we build businesses that are saving animals? Can we create a community, a vegan business community where others can take their passion and align those things together. And what I started to see is the possibilities. I started to see that there was an opportunity for me to not only be vegan and in my personal life make changes, but bring it into my professional life. Use the skills that I have to move kind of veganism forward. And that's really kind of why I started Vegan Mainstream, why I love what I do, and why I hope to kind of inspire others that have skills, that have ways they want to give back, that have thought about how can they contribute to the movement, that starting a business, starting a sustainable business, or even supporting vegan businesses is such a great way for people to get involved.
I love that. I love that because that's like me too. I mean, I started off posting pictures just right after I went vegan, I just started posting pictures of my food and, creating recipes. And I thought I would be inspiring people. And I was, on a small scale. My friends and family, they were getting excited about veganism. But I just knew there was something bigger. I could drive the movement forward in a bigger way using different skills and talents. Did you want to talk about the evolution of a business and how we maintain stability and stamina along the vegan business journey once we're in it?
Yes. I think as any business, grows, as any business expands, as even us as entrepreneurs, we have to grow. The skills that you come in with are different sometimes than what you learn along the way. You a little bit as an entrepreneur feel like you're like learning on the job type of feel. So what happens is there is a level of fatigue that can set in. There is a level of understanding that all businesses go through cycles. I think for a lot of people, we want that, like we were even talking earlier about the big lucky break. We want that thing where we just burst into the market and everyone is ready for what we have to offer or how we want to give back. And what happens is those things will happen in many businesses, but there's also an up and down cycle. There are products that you may offer that are not as popular anymore. There may be services that you offer that people loved. And what's happened is they started to go quiet. And what I want people to realize is this is not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection or seen as I think sometimes we can take things hard. We can feel like, oh, I failed, or this didn't work, or so forth. And we can kind of be our own worst critic. And we have to remember that we're supposed to be our own cheerleader, not critic. That we have to realize that things will come and go. Things will work well. Things will change. Things will explode. Sometimes it's just timing. Sometimes it's what's happening in our environment. Sometimes it's education and knowledge. Sometimes you're a trailblazer and you're a little bit ahead of the curve. So it takes time for people to catch up. Sometimes you are pushing the wave forward and then other people get in and push the wave forward. And then you have to reinvent yourself again, reinvent your business again. And I want people to kind of get comfortable with the idea that that is all part of the journey. That is all part of the process. So all of us have the downs. All of us have the days where we're like hand on head, shaking our head, talking to our spouses, our best friends, our parents, and saying, what am I going to do? The idea is that it's okay if you have those moments. The key is to get back up. The key is to dust yourself off. The key is to still be brave. The key is to keep going after your dream and passion, because if you've had success once, you can have it again. If you found something that has worked, you can do it again. If you've been able to make a difference in the movement, move people forward, help people, you can do it again. And it doesn't have to be on the same scale every time. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing on the front page of the paper. It is just about you achieving what you want to do and getting used to the idea that you're going to always go through those cycles, those ups and downs, but knowing that you have the endurance, you have the stamina that it takes to keep going. And also understanding that there's a bigger dream, there's a bigger place that you're going towards. So you have to keep charting forward. So I hope for some of you out there that are maybe struggling, some of you who are maybe out there and had a little bit of adversity, understand there's speed bumps in the road. We all hit them, and it's okay. Just push through, collaborate with each other, call and get help, maybe reach out to you for support. It's just so many great ways that we can all move forward if we help each other as we go through these cycles in our businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember contacting you about writing a book. I wanted to write this part memoir, part recipe book, and I was gung-ho about it. And this was the thing that was going to break me into the movement. And, I don't know, I just felt like it was going to be the thing that I was going to do. Because I've always written, I've loved writing since I was young. But you helped me realize that it wasn't really a viable product at the time. It wasn't going to give me, monthly, month-to-month income, year after year stability. And we brainstormed about other things that I could do. And at the time, I couldn't even really come up with something. I think it was because I had a small baby at the time, and I was like, I don't want to go out there and do, workshops. And right now, that's just not the time for that. So I just shelved the book. And I remember you saying, just, maybe it's a 2020 thing. Maybe it's a 2020 book, And I was like, yeah, I guess I can surrender to that. And once I surrendered to that idea of letting go of this thing that I thought was the thing, then, I was able to allow grace to come in and really help me move forward in a way that was authentic and aligned for me, which is the coaching and, an online business and creating these summits and driving the movement forward in that way, where I can be home with my children, and I can also, spend time on my passion, which is this. So yeah. Amazing. Thanks.
Yeah, it's so great. And I'm so glad you touched on that, how important it is to have these businesses, but our families are important to us. Our friends are important to us. Our communities are important to us. So we want to build businesses that allow us to accomplish all those things that are important to us in our lives. It's not supposed to be one trumps everything else. Now, maybe we can't do it all and do every idea that pops in our head, but the idea of being able to balance 2 or 3 different priorities and make sure each one of those priorities feel the love, feel the support, feel like you're present, I think is so important. So while I'm all about building businesses, while I'm all about the marketing and the data and all that stuff, I'm also about having a life, being available for your family, being able to go on trips, being able to get a good night's sleep at night is so important.
So important.
I think people underestimate that. And I know it's hard, don't get me wrong. It takes discipline, it takes a lot of work, but it's important to have that bigger balanced dream as well, not just I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore type of feel.
Exactly. Definitely. And so I guess we could touch on maybe, there's going to be the people out there, the women out there who are feeling like maybe they have so many ideas and so many things that they want to do. Like maybe they're not fixed into one thing like I was, but maybe there's just too many things and they feel overwhelmed, or maybe they're stuck. How do you work with your clients, and what do you recommend for people who are just kind of stuck and don't know what to do for their next step forward?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would probably say, as far as feeling stuck, first off, we all get stuck. Things happen, things change, and we get stuck in multiple ways. Stuck is not just things aren't working well. Stuck can be things are working too well. And I don't know where to focus. I don't know what I should do. I mean, success can be just as scary sometimes as things not moving forward. So I just wanted to mention that, because this is a skill of getting yourself unstuck that you're going to need regardless of how well or how successful, how big your business is. Number one. Number two, as far as getting unstuck, a lot of times I find it has to do with being able to set priorities, being able to really decide what is the most impactful and the most important things that you should be working on. whether it's business wide and you're trying to say, I got all these business ideas, I have all these products or services that I can offer. First off, get them out of your head. Having them bounce around in your head is not a great filing prioritization system. Things kind of can just rattle around. Plus, not all of us have the best memory, so we forget one idea and remember another idea, or we splinter off two ideas that are the same idea. So writing them down, getting them on paper is very important, even putting them into your computer. The next thing is I like to rank them and say whether I'm looking at my business products or services, whether I'm looking at projects I should do, or even if it's as simple as I'm stuck on social media, I don't know what to do or which platform I should be on. Everything I find starts with a really comprehensive list. I shouldn't say everything, but most things as far as getting unstuck. And by putting that comprehensive list together, you can get all 38 ideas out of your head. And what you can start to do is say, which ones are really my top 5? What's really my top 3? Because while you'll have great ideas, a list of great ideas is a wonderful thing to have. Working on 38, 20, even 15 ideas is not ideal. It doesn't often allow you to get the momentum that you need. And what I really believe on is it's very important to build from success. So instead of, if you're doing social media, instead of launching 4 platforms at once and trying to get them to work, I tell a lot of people, launch one platform. Now secure your name on all 4 so you have it when you're ready, but launch one for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and get a success. Get something to start working. And when you start to get that working, you can use what worked well in that one platform to roll out the next. And if the first one took you 60 days, the second one may only take you 45 days. The third one may only take you 30 days. And now in less than 6 months, you have a strong social media platform, as opposed to trying to do 4 at once, trying to make it work, stumbling through it, and then also spreading yourself too thin. Same thing goes with products ideas or business ideas. Create that list. Start with 1 or 2. Really start with a tight focus and spend a specific amount of time, 60 days, 90 days, get that first customer. Make that first, whatever hurdle. I want to make my first 2,000. I want to make my first 5,000. It doesn't mean that you can't make $1 gazillion. We don't want to hold you back from that. What we want you to do is start to understand what it takes to get a customer. Understand what it takes to drive revenue, to balance your budget, to actually make income, not just money coming in, but money minus all those expenses. And what happens is a lot of that has to do with practice, with skill set, with putting processes in place. And once again, if you can do that with 1 or 2 products, then it's easy to roll out the 3rd product. It's easier to roll out the 4th product because now you're building from success.
So let's talk about money. This is a major thing for so many people. It's a limiting belief. I know that I've been working with my limiting beliefs towards money, around money, and I feel like I've grown a lot. But what do you do, and what do you suggest with your clients when they don't feel they're not owning their worth when charging premium prices, and they don't feel comfortable charging?
Yeah. There's a couple of different ways to approach it. The first thing I kind of remind people, because we kind of forget when we start to run our business and when we think about charging a person, we forget that we all kind of deserve a living wage. Like we deserve to be able to pay light bills and water bills and, do you know what I mean? The basic stuff in life. I'm not trying to advocate here that, we need a mansion on the hilltop. What I'm really talking about is your business should sustain you. So just like you would look at a career maybe outside of your own business and you would look for a certain type of salary, certain type of compensation, you should expect something similar in your own business. Now, it may take a minute to get there. I'm not saying day one, you're going to be able to make what you've made maybe in a previous position or previous job, or what others have made, maybe peers. But the idea is that what you're asking for is reasonable. I think what people have a hard time with is they feel like they're asking for too much. they're demanding too much. It's too much for people to manage. And the reality is what you're asking for in your business is reasonable. The other thing is in your business, you can always have tiers. What I tell a lot of people is it's important to have a high-end product for people who have the money. There are people that can afford your services. There are people that spend money. And what I tell a lot of people to do to even help build their confidence is to do some benchmarking, is to literally go out there and see what other people charge for cooking classes, see what other people charge for earrings, see what other people charge for shoes, or see what other people charge for your coaching services, if you're let's say a lifestyle coach out there. So you can get an idea from the consumer's perspective, what are their options and choices out there? So when you start to see what their choices, what their ranges are that are available, it can help you understand where you should be in the market. I'm not a fan of telling people to be like the low cost option. I feel that you want to give people quality. You want to be able to give them your time. You want to be able to give them the highest product that you can source if you're doing a product. So to do that, your revenue has to support that. You have to be able to charge to give people that quality. So therefore, you have to start to understand that there's an exchange that you're giving. You're not necessarily just asking someone to give you money. You're providing them with value. You're not only going to help and support someone, you're going to help them achieve something. Whether you offer a service and you're helping someone get from stage A to stage G, whether you're offering a product that allows them to do whatever they're trying to do, do their hair, put vegan makeup on, you know what I mean? All those things are important to people. People have products that they want. And if you can give them the alternative that they need, it helps them not only solve their problems, solve their challenges, but be the solution. And that solution can be vegan. That solution can save animals. And that's huge. So remember that what you're doing is you're trying to create this force. You're trying to create this business that is really sustainable. And to be sustainable, you have to make money. But what you're also doing is you're bringing revenue into our community. I think people underestimate how important it is for us to have money in our community. And what I mean by that is in our vegan community, our vegan business community. So to be able to sponsor events, to be able to support your local farm sanctuary, to be able to help with a campaign locally that maybe stops a certain activity that's going on in your city, to be able to sponsor billboards, to create educational programs. What happens is if your business can make money, if you can pull in that revenue, you can do things even beyond your business. And even better yet, you can employ people. You can have employees, and that would mean now you're helping other vegans align their professional lives with their veganism, with their passion, with their desire to change the world. So I think sometimes when we think of the money, we think of the small piece of what am I going to charge someone? And I hope for some people that maybe what I was saying today kind of opened up a window or an idea into what your business can create, the possibilities that it can create for you personally, by being able to take care of your family, by being able to pay your mortgage, by being able to get out of debt, to being able to create a college fund for your kids, but also what it can do for your community by bringing in that wealth and by being able to sponsor and support nonprofits and other organizations. Your business and that money can become the enabler. And I think if we think of it that way, then I think it gets us more comfortable with charging. It gets us more comfortable with understanding what this process is, and also understanding the possibilities that we have if we stand up strong, if we have the courage to ask people to pay us the value for what we're providing them, then we can do such amazing, great things.
Totally, totally. And that's such a beautiful shift in perspective. And for me too, that was something that I really needed to do, was to just shift the vision for where the money was eventually going to go. And also for me, I think that something that was life-changing was shifting my view of money itself as something sacred and something that wants to go towards good and life-supporting economy.
Yes.
So that really helped me realize that, you know, we're like the bees, we're pollinating the money in the good places, you know, that's where we want the money to go. So, you know, no shame in charging for our services. We're doing good things, you know, and the bigger we can get, the more money can go into those beautiful little pockets where it's so desperately needed too.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is we can do so much more, so many things where we can give, where we can be open to, we can even give more of your time. The more sustainable your business is, the more you can do free speaking events, the more you can do all these other things that are ways for you to give. And I think that, you know, I hope people see that possibility when they're thinking about setting their prices, and when that fear of money kind of bubbles up, that you start to think much further out, and think of the possibilities.
Great. Yes. Thank you for that. You've also said before, you don't have to jump without the net. Do you want to talk a little bit about that phrase, that catchy phrase, which I love?
Yes, I talk about this a lot because, you know, being an entrepreneur is a huge mind shift. You know, it's very different for many people who did not maybe grow up in an entrepreneurial family or haven't worked in an entrepreneurial kind of business. And not just being an entrepreneur, but even running a business can be very different than a traditional 9 to 5, just because of the number of hats that you have to wear, just because a lot of the responsibilities that you have that are maybe beyond your kind of expertise, that for a lot of people, they get worried. They think, if I'm not all in and I don't do it all and I don't quit my job tomorrow, then this business can't be successful. And that's not the case. For many people, making a plan, making a transitional plan to starting your business, building your business, is so smart. It's really important. I tell a lot of people to keep their day job, to keep that job in the beginning, to keep the stability, to keep things flowing, because for many of us, you know, we already have these commitments, because we already have rent, we already have this and that we're paying for. So it makes sense to kind of keep that stability there and build your business over time. A lot of times I joke with people that when they start a business, yes, you can go full-time, you can go part-time, and you can also go some of the time. And what that may mean is you work at nights and you work on weekends. There's a ton of businesses that can be built that way, product businesses and service-based businesses. Because once you get your first, especially as a coach, you get your first 5 clients, you have something to stand on. And then you can make the decision on, do I want to transition? Because if I can get 5 clients and work full-time, if I move to part-time at my current job, and then maybe more part-time in my business, what can those numbers be? So therefore, being a little bit more strategic, being a little bit more planned, and also thinking about it as a transition instead of just jumping, closing your eyes, and hoping for the best. I don't find that that is the best way to start a business, because the stress sets in when you don't know if you can pay your rent, when you're not sure if you can cover these costs. When you start a business, a lot of times you have to cover your own insurance. I mean, all the things that can make us all worry, and give us a ton of gray hair, which is not really how it works, but you know what I mean. You know, those are the things that can really eat away from your creativity. So I tell a lot of people is just take it a step at a time. Just not jump without that net. Instead, keep some of those things in place. And it's not just your full-time job. Think about the things that keep you whole. Think about the things that you are passionate about. If you're a yogista and you love doing yoga twice a week, 3 days a week, keep that intact while you're running your business. Do some of the things that you care about. If you love, you know, making pottery, if you like to paint, if you just want to get up and dance, you know, pull those things into your business so that you incorporate the things that feed you as well when you're building a business. Incorporate those things that keep you engaged and excited, and keep kind of that inspired you to start those business and fuel you now. You're going to need those in your business. So don't let it all go. Don't go all in 100%, nothing else than your business for 2 to 5 years, what some people try to do. Instead, build a plan. Instead, pull in the things that you love, nurture yourself throughout the process, and you'll have a much more sustainable business, a stronger business, and you'll also still have a business that you love in the end.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. I can see that even in my own life. I mean, I'm just starting to venture into this world of creating summits and the coaching, because I have a 1-year-old, and so I'm creeping out of the closet of just being full-time mama, you know, and I have 2 other children as well, and a husband, and you know, a life, and I'm doing it in small doses, you know, and I'm still focusing on definitely giving myself, nourishing myself with the things that I love, because if I don't have that foundation, then I will just lose the vision for what I'm creating in the first place. And, you know, when we nourish ourselves, whether it be with, you know, maintaining that financial security, if it's another job that we already have, or whatever it is, we need to let our light shine. And the only way to do that is to stay secure and feel that security, and by nourishing ourselves and feeling that safety net, you know, that you were talking about, whatever that is for you. So yeah, wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's so important. And it's also important to be the person that you want it to be when you build your business. You know, it's not the idea that we're supposed to be like chained to our jobs, chained to our desk. A lot of people see entrepreneurism as an opportunity to get some of that freedom back. But if you run your business in a way that you are chaining yourself to the desk, you know, the idea is that you really have to kind of take a look and reevaluate and remember why you started your business, what's important to you, who do you want to be. You know, if you were your own role model, what would that look like? Or, you know, role model for the next flock of entrepreneurs, business owners, and so forth. What would you want to be like? And what changes do you want to make and need to make so you can get back on course?
Yes, exactly. And that actually leads right into my last question for you, which is, what does being a visionary vegan woman mean to you?
Being a visionary vegan woman, I think it means 2 things to me, I guess. Number one, having the courage to do things that either A, you may not have seen other people do before. You may not hear the support that you expected to get to do what you wanted to do, because sometimes as women, we don't get the support. Sometimes we get typecasted, and the expectation is for us to live in this box or that box. And the idea is that you can create your own world and don't have to live in that box. But you definitely need the courage to live greatly, to soar, to really, like you even mentioned earlier, to shine. And if you're going to be and put on that hat or wear that badge, you know, being a visionary vegan woman, I really believe that you have to step out into the world. You have to step on your own 2 feet. You have to do things that are a little scary, that are a little bit hard at times, but having that courage, having not only the vision of where you're going, but also striving to be a little bit better, striving to kind of go to those new levels and those new heights, and represent yourself and others well, I think can be the wind beneath your wings, and the thing that can take you into fun, scary, exciting, new places, and also create just a better world for the visionary vegan women that come after you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. That is exactly how I feel. And today I even pulled a card from my Oracle deck that's warrior woman. What
Oh,
would you do if you
that's
weren't
cool.
afraid? And I feel like that is the visionary vegan woman, just stepping forward even when you're afraid and
Yes.
breaking the chains of the past, you know, and maybe there's ancestral things or maybe there's limitations, however they may be. You're moving forward no matter what, because you know what you're being called to do, you know. And that's how I feel, and I'm sure our audience feels this way. So we're cheering you on. We're cheering all the visionary vegan women on. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It was really powerful.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I love this opportunity to talk. I love this opportunity to chit chat with you. It's an opportunity for us to catch up. So this has been wonderful. And also just thank everyone who's watching. Glad we had an opportunity to chit chat. And I hope this has been helpful and as exciting for me as it's been, it will be hopefully for you guys out there.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Take care.